The community of Sansloot Gamabusela in Mokopane, as well as learners at Mpriwa-Birwa Secondary School in Mokopane in this part of the Limpopo province, are still reeling from shock. Well, of course, this follows the untimely death of an 18-year-old matric learner at this school last week. That is 18-year-old Willem Ngoepe, who died following a very brief altercation between himself and another 22-year-old matriculant. The perpetrator, allegedly the two got into an altercation, resulting in the deceased learner being struck with a wooden object on his head, and he eventually succumbed to his illness, to his injuries rather, while in hospital, and eventually died. We just spoke to the family of 18-year-old Willem Ngoepe. They are very distraught, as well as learners here at this school. But to get more insight regarding what could have transpired and with regards to this incident rather of bullying, I'm joined by the spokesperson for the education department, as well as the district director in the Waterberg district, that is Ndo Mangala. Thank you very much for joining us on SABC News. First of all, this is quite a very shocking and sad incident involving two matriculants that were about to start with their trial examinations. Obviously, dreams there shattered. What do we know regarding what happened?
Yeah, very tough indeed. Our learner, they were just about to write, an examination, and the teacher went to, the staff room to collect materials. Upon his return, he found, the deceased, bleeding, because he was struck by a wooden object by this other learner. And the school immediately took the learner to the clinic. The clinic, realizing the seriousness of the injury, transferred him to the hospital, where unfortunately he was not admitted but given some pills. And at home, the learner's condition just got serious, and he ultimately demised.
And we interviewed some of the devastated classmates who witnessed this incident. They describe it as very quick. Obviously, the perpetrator had access to something that may have caused harm. Has the school initiated any form of investigation to try and gather the real facts around this incident?
No, they've done so. The wooden plank, we have just seen it in the principal's office. It's not something that he carried from outside. He just took it in the classroom and went to the deceased and struck him. So they've gathered all the facts. They just know what actually transpired.
And we see that you've also brought in social workers to provide counseling. When we drove into the school, we saw some of the learners obviously overwhelmed by emotions. Tell us about that process.
No, indeed, the learners they're distraught, they're pained, they're stressed, they're going through, trauma. Hence, as a department, we brought in our psychosocial support, a team of officials. And, I must say they did a very splendid job. And things are much more calmer now. And we hope with the passage of time, our learners will heal. They will definitely heal and overcome this unbearable ordeal.
Mr. Mangala, thank you very much for your time. That is the district director here in the Waterberg district, where this particular school is situated. Ndo Mangala talking to us about how devastated the school community and the overall community here is. The Limpopo Education MEC Mabunguli Ramakhanya has also sent out an extended words of condolences to the Ngoepe family, who lost their 18-year-old son who was in matric, who died following that specific incident where he was struck by a wooden object. We understand also that the family is still awaiting a post-mortem analysis and a report to determine the exact nature of what may have led to his death. Investigations are still ongoing following this particular issue.